Hey, Les Lethal people. So I got an idea today to do a little video on what launches do I recommend or endorse and think that are worthy of carrying, and then I'll tell you what my favorite launches are and what launchers I don't necessarily like for carrying. So let's start with 50 caliber. 50 caliber, the ones that I like the HDP 50. Somebody asked me this question today. Of all the 50 caliber launches, for me, the HDP 50 is great. It's very easy to maintain, very easy to fix if there's a problem with it when you take it apart. Once you modify it, it's adequate power. You can make it into a carbine, a rifle. There's so many things you could do with the HDP 50. So the HDP 50 is my favorite of the 50 caliber launches. I will give an honorable mention to the HDR 50 and the Mercury Rise TR 50 because they are pretty cool and they do things that are great. The HDR 50 is a little more temperamental to work on. When you open it up, there's a little more springs and things that can pop out, but they're great. And if you have one, you're adequately protected, especially if it's modified. So I like them. But the HDP 50 is my favorite of the 50 caliber markers. Of the 68 caliber markers, I am going to still have to say right now, as of today, the Salt Supply S2 is my favorite 68 caliber marker. The reason is it's adequately powered with around 20 to 23 joules, and I can shoot chemical or kinetic rounds from it. And if those rounds are placed strategically right, I'm good to go. I use this to take out my dog every night at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock for wildlife in my yard. I use it when I go hiking. I carry it in the car with me. I think it's a great launcher. So far, it's been super reliable, has the best trigger in the industry. For me, this is the all-around winner. It's not great at anything, but it's good at everything. Meaning, it's not great at just being a kinetic launcher. It's not great at only being a chemical launcher. It's right in the middle. To me, this is like the 45 caliber version of less lethal. The 45 ACP is not the best round in the world. It's not the worst round in the world, but it's a good round because it's a good all-around round and does everything you need it to do. Same with the S2. So if I had to recommend somebody can only get one launcher, I had to have it. I like this. I use Duke chemicals in here all the time. It's great. Now, sticking with that, now we're going to talk about liquid launchers. Yes, liquid launchers. There's a lot of liquid launchers out there. You have these new ones that you put the little canister in and you spray it kind of like a water gun. They are effective. They work. My favorite is the Kimber Pepper Blaster. This is unbeatable. It comes in red. It comes in a gray color. It's 2 shots that are fired with a pyrotechnic at 400 miles an hour. They also make the JPX2 and the JPX4, which are larger versions of these, but the same liquid. This will stop almost anything. Grizzly bear probably will stop in a shot. It's very, very potent. Having done it in a room that was 22 by 22, the room had to be cleared for 24 hours. It's incapacitating. I carry one with me all the time, everywhere. Even if you're carrying a real firearm, get one of these, carry it. This is wonderful. I sometimes have several of them lying around. They make holsters for them. You could slip them in your pocket. It's the size of a wallet. If you have loved ones, and especially if you have maybe a spouse, a wife, older daughter in college or something, if you could, Everybody should have one of these on their person. This can really, really save a life. This is very effective. Okay, so for liquid launchers, it's the Kimber Pepper Blaster 2 or the JPX. That's my favorite. For kinetic only, where we're not shooting chemicals, they're too powerful. So far, obviously, the new one is this. I only have good things so far to say about it, but we have to really see the reliability over time. I prefer this over an FSC or a TCP only because those I've had many issues with them where they have either double fired, not fired, shot out all the air, got jammed, lost power quickly. So those were not consistent, and in a real life and death situation, I want something that's always consistent. So far, we haven't had any issues with this. Let's hope it stays that way. If it does, yes, then this will be my favorite kinetic launcher. So there you have what my favorite ones are. Do I think the Burner is a decent launcher? Yes, I do. As much as I get upset with certain things that the company does, do I think it's okay? Yes, it would be good for chemical rounds. An ST would be fine for chemical rounds for self-defense, especially against, you know, two-legged or four-legged attackers. Do I think for just kinetics it's good? No. But then again, I don't think that the Salt Supply 2 is just good for kinetics. It's a good all-around launcher if you know how to use it. So those are all the launchers, the pistol launchers that I personally like. I will give an honorable mention, I believe, to the Mercury Rise MUB-50. It's kind of like the mini or the baby version of this. I haven't had the experience to use it yet, but if it's anything at all like a smaller version of the Salt S2, then it has to be pretty decent. I don't know much about the LTL line, the Alpha and them. I mean, they seem like the HDP-50. I'm not sure. I heard some of them are made plastic and cheesy. I have no experience with them, so I can't tell you about that. And if I had to choose between any of them, I would just go with the HDP-50. There's so many aftermarket versatile things out there for the HDP-50. It makes sense to get that. And now that they have the new pressure cap at the bottom on that, it's great. And if you like the revolver HDR 50, they have now fiber optic sights on that, so that's kind of cool. So those are some honorable mentions. But anyway, it all boils down to, what do you feel comfortable carrying? What are you going to train with? What do you have access to? What can you afford? And what are you looking to do? For me, I like the whole versatility of having chemical and kinetic rounds together because I could go in between them. Anyway, that's a list of the launchers that I like and I think are really good, and the one or two which I think are too temperamental, and I would not want to rely on them only for self-defense. Anyway, thanks guys.